Welcome to the Honeymoon Mindset Podcast, discussing topics to give you tips and tools so you can choose to live your relationship with a honeymoon mindset. Here are your honeymoon mindset experts, James and Beth. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Honeymoon Mindset. I am James. I'm so grateful that you're listening to this episode. It's the end of the year. It's the last week of 2021. What a year it has been. Next week, or this weekend, is going to be the new year. January 1st is this weekend. And a lot of people on January 1st or New Year's Eve set New Year's resolution, goals, in other words. But a lot of times when we set New Year's resolutions, they don't come to fruition. They hardly ever make it past January, really. I've never set, or I've tried and failed, so I stopped setting resolutions. Why don't New Year's resolutions work? Why do they fail? Why are they such a failure? Most of us, when we set them, it's in a whim. Oh yeah, I'm going to lose weight. Yep, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get healthier. I'm just going to plan that. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to exercise more. New Year's resolutions don't work. Here's why. Like I said, most of us make them on a whim. There's not a lot of thought put into them. It's wishful thinking. We want to do it. We want to feel better. We want to do something nice for ourselves, make changes. But there's not a lot of plan or thought going into. We don't look at the pain or the pleasure side of those New Year resolutions. What I mean by pain and pleasure? Well, what's it going to cost us if we don't do or follow through with that New Year's resolution? Why do we want to change? What's the importance of change? What's the importance of following through? And if we do follow through, what do we get out of it? Why? Where do we go? If we want to lose weight or eat healthier, what's the benefits? Why do I want to lose weight? What's the purpose? On Mondays, Kimberly and I recorded a show, how to teach kids to set goals. So I'm going along the lines of that episode. It's a 2-episode series. And same thing here. How do we set goals for New Year's resolutions that work? How do we set goals that we can achieve? Do we set small goals, big goals? I've been in a lot of different industries. Service industry, transportation industry, school, transportation. And they've always had meetings. They've always had trainings. Oh, make your goals small so you feel more accomplished. If you can't accomplish big goals, then set small goals so you feel accomplished. You do that, you get more better. You get more confidence built up. I didn't have much success with those. Then I set these big lofty goals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And those failed too. Why? Well, the small goals they were achievable, sometimes too easy, so they didn't challenge me enough. They didn't get me out of my comfort zone. The big ones were so big and lofty that I didn't know how to break them down. I didn't understand the pain and pleasure that I do now on how to properly set goals. So first things we have to do is sit down. Look at where we are at now. Review this past year. You got to review. You're not reviewing to live or relive the past. You're looking back this past year to see where you've come, what you've done, what you've accomplished, what went well, what didn't work well, why didn't it work well? When things did work well, what happened? What was the setup? What was the desired outcome? What was the work that went into it to make that a reality? So you look at the past to learn from it. You look at the past to say, okay, I did this and that. This worked, this didn't. Okay, in the future, I'm going to try to stick more towards what works. You have to. You want to. Then you look into the future. Where do I want to be at the end of this coming year? At the end of 2022? Sometimes it's easier, actually, to go 5 years, 10 years down the road. Who do I want to be in 10 years? Where do I want to be in 10 years? Where do I want to be living, working? For me, I'm 45. Where do I want to be in 55 years? What do I want to be doing? What lifestyle do I want to live? And then you work your way backwards. Maybe to 10 years or 5 years after 10 years. Where do I want to be in 5 years from now? What do I want to be doing? How's that 5 years going to accomplish my 10-year goals? And then you work it back. Maybe you got to make it 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. And then at the end of 2022. That is how you set goals. A part of the process. Then when you look at that, you look at your attitudes, your behaviors, your habits. What do I need to change this year to make it? Well, I know what I've done in the past. It doesn't work. So how am I going to change it to make it more successful? For me, I'm going to work on getting more used to calling and asking for accountability and help. The other thing, if you look in your past, a lot of times when you've seen change is when you got out of your comfort zone. Our goals should get us out of our comfort zone. We talk about this comfort zone. You've probably heard it other times, other places. What is a comfort zone for honeymoon mindset? Comfort zone is where you're comfortable. You don't want change. It's the status quo. And when you're in that status quo, you're comfortable. You're happy. You're content. Sometimes you're not happy. Sometimes you're just there. And that's where we want to change it. That's where your honeymoon mindset, that's where we want to come alongside you and spark the passion in you. So you want to change. You want to keep growing. As an individual, in your relationship, in your business, in your profession, in all aspects of your life. When you have that passion in you, it helps sparks every aspect of your life. So setting goals, first you got to look at the past. Look at where you're going. Pay attention to where you've come. What worked, what didn't work, what surprised you, what didn't surprise you, what failed and why, what great successes did you have and why. Then you look to the future. Maybe start out at 10 years or 5 years. Where do you want to be? What do you want to set? And then you work your way backwards. Then where do you want to be at the end 2022? Like I said, for me, I want to be more accountable. Be held more accountable. Because I notice when I'm being held more accountable, I get more accomplished. Quit relying on my own self. Quit being so scared of asking for help. That's where I'm going to grow. That's where I'm going to shine. And this past year, I've seen it when I held myself accountable, when I had my wife hold me accountable, other people hold me accountable. I've grown. I've accomplished more. So that's one thing I'm going to carry through. Yes, I want to get more fit, more in shape. How am I going to hold myself accountable? Right now, I really don't have a whole lot of spots to hold me accountable. But how am I going to do that? I don't like going to a gym. I don't. I've tried that. I have an exercise spin bike in my house. I have weights. I have everything. But how am I going to hold myself accountable? It's something I got to figure out for next year. So when you're looking at goals, you figure out where you want to be, what you want to change, what habits you need to change or want to change or start doing, incorporating, like I am with exercising. I've already changed my eating habits, so I want to keep working on that for next year. So how am I going to incorporate working out? First, I want you guys to hold me accountable. Did you work out this week? What did you do? When you do? How often? Simple as that. So I already have a plan, a schedule set up, how I'm going to do it. Now I just got to hold myself accountable. I got to put some rewards. What's the word? Rewards and some pain points in there. If I don't do it, there's punishment. Reward and punishment. I know there's people who don't like that system or that idea, but it does work for some people. I know one lady I coached, she didn't want anything to do with pain. She's trying to get away from it. Tony Robbins says some people are driven with pain, scaring them. They don't want it. They do everything they can to flee. Some people, they want pleasure. They want to run towards pleasure. Naturally, going towards pleasure, you're going to do it more often and more successful. So for me, I got to sit down here in the next week or so and figure out what my pain and pleasures are and how I'm going to use those to help with me working out. For me, I can tell you right now, working out, I'll have more energy. I will be able to breathe easier. I'll be more active. I will be more focused. Because study shows when you exercise on a regular basis, you're able to focus. You're able to get more work done. I will accomplish my business goals. I will be able to accomplish my personal goals, my relationship goals. So far, I've been talking about personal goals. Relationship. You can do this with your relationship. You and your partner. Sit down. Where do you want your relationship to be in a year? What you as an individual has to change to make those a reality. What you as a couple need to do to change to make a reality. My wife and I, we both want to travel. We want to go places, do things. Well, one thing we're working on together is working on Honeymoon Mindset Academy, getting that up and running more. So my wife can quit her 8 to 5 job. Because then we can travel. Once we get Honeymoon Mindset Academy running more and better, more efficient. But that's also part of our business goal as well. We want Honeymoon Mindset Academy to be running. So we're coaching, so we can travel, we can do things. We can set up retreats across the country. We can speak across the country as a source of income while we travel and enjoy things. That's one of our business goals. Personal goals, relationship goals. You have the same thing when you as a couple, where do we want to retire in 10, 15 years? You start planning that now. Where do we want to be financially at the end of 2022? Well, I would like to have at least $5,000 in the bank on any given day. So what do you as a couple need to do so we can accomplish that? Can we set that up now and then we just have to maintain it? Yeah, that's plausible. That's what you got to do. Business goals. How you can get your employees more excited for work and coming to. What do you need to change as a business owner? Maybe you're in a 8 to 5 job. You like your job. I go in, I punch, I do what I need to do, and I go home. That's great. But how can you improve for your professional life? How can your passion spark more in you for your potential? It's possible. It's very possible. Well, you can have an upper. You can come along, help somebody who's struggling. You can learn new ways of doing it. Your job, your profession, be a little more efficient, or find another way to achieve the same task or another task. There's things we can do as individuals to help ourselves professionally. Maybe I can change my habits so it's not as annoying to somebody else or more uplifting to somebody else. Or I can be more of a positive role model, more of the encourager or the morale person, not getting in on all the water cooler gossip and talk, but yet find a way to turn that around to use it as a way to praise people in front of others. Use it as a way to show somebody's hidden talents or unique gifts that they bring to the team. That's always needed in any profession. Setting goals That's how you set goals. Look at the past, look at the future, look at where you want to be in a year, and start figuring out your changes. And why do you want to change it? Why do you want to make these changes? What is it going to do for you? The other thing is, does it scare you? Does it scare you at all? Most of our plans, when they scare us, we achieve it. Fear, a lot of people think fear is a negative emotion. But yet, fear can also be a very positive. How does that work? If there's fear. Fear controlled by the amygdala. So like, oh, there's a bear, there's a mountain lion there behind us. What do? We run. Because we're scared. That fear. But there's also the fear in a positive light. Oh, I'm not going to do that because I might have to get up in front of people. I might have to get out of my comfort zone to do something. But if I do it, I'll achieve this. If you're a mountain climber, let's use that as an example, or a chef. Oh, I've never made that before. Oh, I've never climbed that style of mountain or hillside. So you branch out and you try it out of fear. It's nothing wrong that you did. It's not a negative fear. It's out of the fear of failure. It's out of the fear of not knowing. So you make that recipe and it turns out. Or you make that recipe. Hey, I did it, but you know what? I did this wrong, or if I tweak it here or there, I think I'll like it even better. Oh, I climbed that mountain. I scaled it. That went so much better than I thought. Now you got confidence. Now you got energy. Now you feel like you're on top of the world. You can do anything. That's the positive fear. That's the fear challenging yourself to do something new, to do something harder that you haven't done before. You got to make sure your goal challenges you, pushes you out of your comfort zone. That's truly the way we change and grow. And like I said, when I got challenged by accountability partners, that's when I really grew. When I heard them, especially when I was learning coaching and taking coaching classes and training and stuff. Yeah, I hated to do the coaching because I was scared. I was nervous. What are people going to say? Am I going to do it right? There's one I thought I screwed up big time. But they all said it was a beautiful dance. It was great to watch you two interact. The way you used your questions, the way you used silence, the way you used... It was beautiful. It was very rewarding to hear those comments. Yeah, they also said, well, you know what, you can do this a little bit better. They're constructive criticism. Because they want to see me get better. They want me to improve. I want to improve as a person in my coaching skills. If I was too afraid to do that coaching session in that training environment, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I got out of my comfort zone. I did it. I volunteered first to be coached and to do the coaching. I volunteered. I pushed myself. And I really enjoy it. I love coaching. So when you're setting goals, look at the past, look to the future, look at where you want to be, and does it scare you a little? Because if it does scare you, that's where you need to go. And you can do the same thing in your personal life as an individual, in your relationships, and in your business or profession. Same concept. If you have a struggling relationship, okay, that's struggling. Well, I really haven't done anything in the past year. Well, what can I do this coming year? Why do I want it? Well, he's my sibling. I'm supposed to love him and care, which I do. Yeah, there's that one incident that really split us apart. But how are you going to mend it? Well, I'm just going to start being nice. I'm going to Not try. I'm going to send a message once a week. No strings attached. Just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I hope all is well. And just leave it there. Do that for a while, and then I'll increase it. And invite them to stuff by the end of the year. Or halfway, maybe by July 4th. Hopefully invite them to July 4th get together. You have a solid plan there. Why? I want to reconnect with them. I want to rebuild that relationship. I want to strengthen that relationship. There you go, business. Well, we're struggling here. Well, where are you going to get ideas to fix that struggle in your business? Ask your employees. Employees are very smart and intelligent. They see things sometimes we don't. And they have ideas that work. That's one thing I like about the show Undercover Boss. They get themselves out of the office and into the real world. Into the real trenches, as they say, of the job. And they learn and see where they need to fix things. Where they can improve, because they get the ideas from the employees that they're working with. How do they need to show gratitude? How to change discipline? Or the hierarchy needs to change. That show's very happening. Do it. And I hope this coming year, as you're setting these goals, it sparks the passion in you. You take that honeymoon mindset and use it. As it sparks the passion in you, it will show in all your goal settings. Thank you for listening to the Honeymoon Mindset, where we will spark the passion in you.